I've been up really early this morning because I wanted to get this book review out of the way, and I think it's a wonderful book. The book's name is Mind Fixers by Anne Harrington. It's basically psychiatry's troubled search for the biology of mental illness. I usually like to read literature that highlights issues, it identifies pain points and theories, models, mechanisms, and people that I believe in. Books that expand my knowledge base and they make me see a different perspective. They help me identify my own biases, in short. So, Anne Harrington in this book, she deconstructs the history of biological psychiatry in the West. Most of us are already aware of the many problems within our field. And I think unless we know what our problems are, we cannot evolve a science. So, this book is a damning account of psychiatry over the last century, and its beauty lies in the evidence that she provides. It's very sobering as a read, especially for someone like me who has firsthand experienced the benefits of psychiatry. And so, this book showed me in greater detail the problems with overgeneralizations, manipulations, and biases, including implicit prejudices, while conducting and publishing research that will eventually become a framework or a guideline for treatment. The book sort of warned me of my own double standards, affinities, and habitudes. And such an awareness, in fact, makes you, I think, a better practitioner. It sort of allows for self correction. I feel a bit let down by the training that I was offered during my master's because none of my teachers were well read enough to insist that I read such a book and its multitude of cross references. I think it might have made me a more ethical practitioner very early on in my practice. Knowing the history of psychiatry, I think, is the only way to ensure that it does not repeat itself, right? His history should not repeat itself. Anne Harrington, the author, she teaches undergraduate students at Harvard University and she's a professor of the history of science. The book itself is very technical and might be a difficult read for many budding psychologists. It does not matter if you take a year to read it, but do read it bit by bit. At some point, it does make you feel a bit disillusioned, but remember that this is a historical deconstruction and a critique, a book underlining the history of failures, so to speak. It's not meant to be uplifting. It obviously comes from a deep love for humanity and psychiatry and psychology and should be most likely followed up with maybe a lighter read. The book took me almost a month to read, and I had to reread it several times. As usual, there's a link to the book below, which if you use at no extra cost to you, I get credit to buy more books to review. But it's okay if you don't. I also have a newsletter that offers you self help resources that have been verified by me. So if you wish to subscribe to that, the link is below as well. Until next time, happy trails to you.